The story of 13-year-old Alfie Patten is a difficult one to tell, but it is also an intriguing one. I'll tell you how this little boy had thought he was the youngest father in Britain, but what they discovered after a DNA test stunned him. At the age of 13, Alfie's life took a different turn when his 15-year-old girlfriend named Chantelle Steadman told him she was pregnant. Can you believe it? Many UK newspapers and reporters labeled Alfie the youngest father in the country. For him, the story had a lot of hidden things. The boy's life was like that of any other young British boy. He had parents who loved and cared for him very much, and he spent the first 12 years of his life attending elementary school. Like any other young person, the end of elementary school opens the door to the freedom of being in high school. He looked forward to getting home from school to play with his friends. Alfie liked hanging out with teenagers much older than him and spent a lot of time with them. The more time he spent with the older boys, the more the girls around him noticed him. Well, boys were boys. The young man from East Sussex thought it would be nice to have a girlfriend, and he did. He started spending time with the young and beautiful Chantelle. He met her in 2008 while playing with friends on the streets of Lower Dicker Village. The teenager was a family friend and had always been close. Despite being 2 years older than him, the duo hit it off very well. Soon after, they developed mutual feelings for each other, and the two began dating. Alfie and Chantelle were a happy couple. She was his first girlfriend and, according to her, had never been with any other boy. The teenager would often visit his girlfriend and might even stay over. One day, Alfie would meet his girlfriend as usual. However, he never knew that she had news that would change his world. Chantelle told him he was going to be a father. The young teenager was 14 years old when she became pregnant. Shocking, isn't it? As expected, this baffled Alfie. He didn't know what to do because he didn't know his girl was pregnant. How does a 13-year-old deal with the fact that he was soon to be a father? He had to ask her who the baby's father was. He said, "I asked her, am I the father?" She answered yes, so I believed her. His life was about to change from watching his favorite soccer team to worrying about diapers and baby food. The inexperienced boy came home to tell his parents it must have been a very difficult time. He knew little about babies and wasn't sure how to tell his mother about the situation. However, he plucked up the courage. When Alfie's mother found out, she was heartbroken. She would never have believed that her son would have a baby at the age of 13. Both parents were shocked by the situation. Luckily, his parents were supportive and started making plans to do everything they could. His mother dedicated herself to helping him make his room look like a nursery. His parents prepared for the baby, and Alfie was determined to be a part of the baby's life. He was ready to be a wonderful father. Isn't that impressive? In February 2009, his girlfriend gave birth to a healthy baby at Eastbourne Hospital. Her name was Maisie Roxanne, and she weighed 3.2 kilograms. The image of the young teenage father holding the baby in his hands shocked the world. Many wondered how he could be a father at the age of 13. Maisie's birth attracted the attention of many journalists. When asked how he would care for his daughter, Alfie didn't even know the meaning of the word. He said, "What is financially?" His childlike appearance, unbroken voice, and inability to understand basic parenting principles led some to wonder if he was the baby's father. Interest in the story continued to grow, and many newspapers across the country carried it. The young father and his family received a lot of abuse and criticism from different people on social media. For Chantelle, depression and stigmatization were a constant. She said, "I cried a lot every day and thought the insult would go on forever." The story reached British parliamentary ministers to propose sex education reforms in the school system. Things were difficult for Alfie and his parents. His mother said, "Our lives were turned upside down. The world wondered how I didn't know that my son was having sex." However, despite all the difficulties and media attention, Alfie was more interested in spending time and caring for his precious little girl, Maisie. According to his father, all his son wanted was to be a responsible and dedicated father. He said his son gave up all computer games just to be with his daughter in the hospital. The young father and Chantelle received a lot of help from their parents. They both had a hard time coming to terms with the idea that they were parents. As the father's story continued to spread, so did information about another shocking story. There were strong rumors that he was not the baby's father. 2 other boys had come out to claim that they could be the baby's father, one of whom was Tyler Barker. However, Chantelle countered those claims. "I love Alfie. There has been no one else. The other stupid kids are lying." Could this be true? Was Alfie caring for a child that wasn't his? Well, We'll soon find out. Alfie's parents were concerned about the whole situation and could not ignore the fact that the other boys had claimed to be the father. They then advised him to take a DNA test to find out if he was the real father. He agreed, but what he discovered left him devastated. On the day of the DNA test, he was nervous as he waited for the results. Once they were in, guess what? They proved that Alfie was not Maisie Roxanne's father. Can you believe it? He was devastated, confused, and depressed. His mother said, "When we told Alfie that the baby wasn't his, he became hysterical, burst into tears, and ran out of the room." The baby's real father was discovered to be another 15-year-old schoolboy named Tyler Barker. Tyler was a mutual friend of Alfie's and had initially claimed to have had unprotected sex with a young girl. So some of his close friends were not surprised that he turned out to be the baby's father. For Alfie, this was too much. He said, "It was too much to take in. I cried for days and would barely leave my room. To make matters worse, I never saw Maisie again because Chantelle and her family moved out as soon as they found out I wasn't the father." According to the young man, his life was damaged by the whole incident that occurred and things have never been the same again. Alfie says he's telling his story to prevent other children from following the same path. What do you think of Alfie Patten's story? Share it with me in the comments, and talk to you next time.